we may have something incredible right here. Look at that. Looks like a redware jug. This thing may actually be intact. It's intact. Look at that thing. This thing's got to be 1860s, 1870s. Welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It helps out a lot. It doesn't cost anything. It'll just give you a notification when I release a new video. Well, today I'm at the site of an early Midwest settlement. During the riverboat days, this place saw all kinds of activity. I was told the military even stopped in for a brief time during the 1870s. I've got permission to excavate the grounds in search of artifacts, so we'll take a walk around and see what's going on. If you look close, you'll see a sunken area. I had pushed a probe rod through the ground. I felt a loss of compaction, some objects, possibly some stove ashes. That's a good indicator of an early site. I'll get this thing opened up. Well, this is one of the earliest pits I've ever been in, and one of the most loaded. It's about the best combination you can get. Looks like some kind of a apothecary bottle. Oh, that thing is early. It's got a key mold bottom, no embossing. Wow. It's like a little apothecary piece, 3-piece mold. Again, that is so early. That's 1870s, 1860s, 1870s. It looks like some kind of a liquor flask. It's broken, but again, that's an early top on that thing. Look at the top. You don't see much of that in the Dakotas. Now this here looks like a crock beer. There's a bunch of stuff around it though, so I'm gonna have to dig carefully and try to get it out. Alright, here we go. It's intact. That thing is so early. That is truly amazing. That is a piece of history right there. It's an English beer. This would have been imported back in the 1870s, hauled all the way out here to the frontier, likely on freighters. Woodson, Cobridge, ironstone china. I've never even dug that stamp in the Dakotas. And another liquor flask. Looks like a knife edge. No embossing on it. Would have had a paper label on the front. Sounds like we have some intact pieces here. Here's the bottom of a jar. Looks like some kind of a beer bottle here. And another little medicine. Broken Hostetter's stomach bitters. Another medicine, 3-piece mold. It could be Army issued there. That's amazing. Oh, this beer I've been working around. I think there's some pieces underneath it too. Some broken bitters. And something big under here. Got a few. And another one. Top's broken off. A&DHC, it's a beer from the Chambers Glass Company. They were from out east, I think Pittsburgh. Oh, this stuff's kind of broken and wedged in here. Another little 3-piece mold medicine tool top, 1870s I believe, possibly 1860s. And another, sometimes these will be faintly embossed with a USA Hospital Department. That's United States Army Hospital Department. This one isn't though. Look at that. This thing sat in the ground 150 years. CBM. I've dug these on Fort Pembina. They're a food bottle of some sort. They're English made, super crude, applied tops on these things. What is this thing? Lion Manufacturing Company, New York. Mexican Mustang liniment. That thing is amazing. This could actually be 1860s. So it says Mexican Mustang liniment on this side. Lions and Company, New York. Now I'd like to point out this really crude applied top on it. See how the glass looks like it's dripping down? They stopped that kind of manufacturing process in the 1880s. But again, this is very likely 1860s. We may have something incredible right here. Look at that. Looks like a redware jug. The thing may actually be intact. It's intact. Look at that thing. This thing's got to be 1860s, 1870s. That's one of the oldest pieces I've pulled up. Over here, there's a couple pieces. Let's see here. I've dug these flared lip things before. Some kind of apothecary jars. Yeah, that's
1860s, 1870s. There's no embossing on it. All right, what is this thing here? It's got a crude applied top. So far, so good. Wow. Look at that. It's a 3-piece mold. Got a key mold bottom. What's this thing say? Pittsburgh. Frank and Sons? W. Frank and Sons, Pittsburgh. I'm not sure if that's the company for the product or the glass house that made this, but this thing's mint. Likely an 1860s piece. And I've got a couple pieces over here. Looks like a beer of some sort. Let's see. Really soft ground in here. Another Chambers beer, A&DHC. I think that's Pittsburgh. What is this? Looks like a wine bottle. Oh, an English ale. That thing's intact. Nice. It's a really nice green color. There's no end in sight. Got all kinds of pieces exposed here. This is one of the most fun excavations I've been on. Looks like a champagne bottle. That's possibly English made, an applied top. Another one of these medicines here. Applied top, hemold bottom, LG company. That's got to be 1860s, 1870s. Would have likely held some kind of medicine in it. Okay, might be another piece to that plate I dug earlier. That's ironstone china. It's kind of a utility ware, very popular back in the 19th century. Oh, I think I know what this is. Lee and Perrins Worcestershire sauce. This is likely one of the English-made ones. Yeah, the earliest ones were made in England. Yeah, oh, that's really cool. I've heard of these being found on forts. I may have dug one on a fort, actually. It's 1870s, I believe. What do we have here? Looks like it might be broken, a wash basin of some sort, I think. Maybe a chamber pot. Then we got a bottle underneath it. This is lime. They threw these down outhouse pits. Throw this down outhouse pits way back when to disinfect and neutralize the smell. There's layers of it down here. That's a broken piece. Okay, look at that. So this is an old chamber pot. This would have broken way back when they threw it down. It was weak and it had some cracks on the bottom. You can see it's missing. Kind of fell apart when I tried to pull it up, but there's a bottle underneath it. Another little plied top medicine. Key mold bottom. Look at that thing. That's amazing. No end in sight. I noticed this beautiful green color sticking out of the embankment here, and I think it might be an old food bottle. Hard to say for sure. There's all kinds of stuff in here. Look at that. That is really something. That's a food bottle G&D on the bottom. Some kind of glass company likely. That's awesome. It's got some air bubbles in it. Really crudely made. I noticed this little thing sticking out. Looks like another little medicine. Liniment. Okay, Mexican Mustang liniment. These are found on early sites all across the US. I think I've even dug some in some earlier towns. Popular product on the frontier though, no doubt. I've got 3 bottles exposed here. 1, 2, 3. This will just start here. What do we have here? Looks like a really early wine bottle. That's a really nice green color. It's got a applied top on it. Over here we've got a crockery. Looks like maybe English ale of some sort. Oh, these things are so classic looking. Oh yeah, full of groundwater. Kennedy Potteries, I think Glasgow. Barrowfield Potteries, Glasgow. You can see the stamp on the heel there. They were a major manufacturer. I've dug bottles from this firm, I think out in Maine. Actually, this was English, an English ale. And over here, there's some kind of a wine bottle. Maybe another food bottle. Oh, looks like some kind of a cooking pot, a kettle of some sort. That's cast iron. Now, is it intact? We've got another one. Wow. That's a beautiful color. These likely held pickles or capers, some kind of preserved goods. Another food bottle. Another English-made piece, really crude. Same stamping on bottom. That's got to be 1870s, very early 1880s. May have an intact plate here. Looks like ironstone china. No way. So that's the first intact piece of dinnerware we got. That is awesome. There's no maker's mark on the bottom. It's kind of a generic piece. Might have some kind of wine bottle. English ale of some sort. Oh yeah, that's a nice one. That's crude. That's a turn mold, I think, applied top, circa 1880. It seems like the stuff towards the top dates back to about 1880. Must have been around the time the pit was abandoned. And a little champagne bottle. That's cool. It's an applied top turn mold piece. Nice green color. I still haven't found bottom. This is amazing. There's a, looks like another English food bottle of some sort. I see the crude applied top. This one's a little squattier. This thing is beautiful. CBM on the bottom, just like the other ones. Look at that. Likely held capers or some kind of preserved goods. Now, these could be interesting. They have an odd shape. Okay, another Lee and Perrin's Worcestershire sauce. That's the company that's still in business today. That's a crude one. I think this one's English made before they moved production to the US. And we have some kind of paneled piece here. Wondering if it's a medicine or a bitters of some sort. Oh wow, Burnett's Cocoa Ale from Boston. I found these in some of the earlier pits in the Dakotas. That's an applied top. You can see Burnett's Cocoa Ale. It's a patent medicine, I believe. I might have some kind of a dinner plate, some kind of ironstone china piece here. Beautiful whiteware. I think it might be intact. It is intact. Huh, it's got a stamp on the bottom. What's that say? Meakin Brothers and Company, Burslem. You know, usually they have a like a blue or some kind of black stamp. This is the first one I've seen that's actually stamped into it. That is really something. Looks like a canning jar and some kind of food bottle. Let's see here. Maybe an ironstone china plate. Half of a plate. J&G Meakin, 1869. I've never dug one of those stamps before. That's really cool. Must have broken it and discarded it down the pit. Hopefully I'll find the other piece. Some kind of English food bottle. Yeah, another one of these things. An applied top. Yep, CBM on the bottom. Those are really cool looking. A lot of seed bubbles. Oh, this mason jar. It's intact. That is amazing. That's a half-gallon. Look at that. Mason's patent, November 30th, 1858. That's, of course, the patent date. They started making these, I think, 20 years after the patent expired. This has got to be one of the earlier ones, 1870s, I'm guessing. I am blown away. Look at that. We've got some stoneware English ales. There's so many pieces down here. This is incredible. Let's see here. Look at that, a flared top. English ale bottle. It still has the band on it. This thing's 1860s, early 1870s. That is beautiful. I'm absolutely blown away. Looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pottery beers and some kind of food bottle here. Another one of these English pieces. That's it gotta be circa 1880. This one I've been working around. Look at that. That is a flared top. This thing's gotta be 1870s. I think I've only dug one of these ever. That is amazing. There's so much stuff in here. Might have another beer. Maybe an ale bottle of some sort. Yeah, they were just kind of thrown in here. That is beautiful. That's got a, yeah, that kind of edged corner there. I'd never seen one like this. Broken ale bottle, maybe a beer. And maybe an intact one behind it. Look at that. That is unusual. That's a wild top. I was wondering, it was giving some resistance when I was pulling it out, and I'd never dug one like this either. No maker's marks. Definitely English made though. We got another one. Okay, it's broken. And a couple more down below. I don't even know where this pit bottoms out. And another one. I've never seen anything like this. Let's see here. Another one of those little weird top things. Got a chip out of the back side, no maker's marks that I can see. This pit is loaded, absolutely loaded. Another one of these things. Looks like they had a foil kind of band on the top. And must have had a wire it's held in the cork. A 3-piece mold. Okay, here we go. That's interesting. We've got a crown on the shoulder. So that's a mark of England right there. I've been calling these English ales. Now we have a solid confirmation there. You can see remnants of the foil band on top. Another something here. That's amazing. It's filled with groundwater. You can hear it kind of unseal from the dirt there. That's, again, 1870s, I'm sure. All right, and we've got another flared top example. These things are so cool. Looks like they must have been dipped on the top there to get that glazing. I think it's a zinc glaze of some sort. No end in sight. And another one. This is historic. This is absolutely historic. And these are some of the earliest bottles brought into the Dakotas, and we're just finding a cache of them here. I think we have an Igloo ink down here. These things are classic. Mark of the era for sure. Wow, that's intact. I don't find these things very often. They usually predate the settlement in the Dakotas. It's got a key mold bottom. You can see it's full of groundwater. Might have another English ale. Those with the crown on it. It's a 3-piece mold. This thing's almost pontilled. That thing is crude. It's got an early ale type top on it as well. And another, this one's got a little different top. Definitely an English-made piece as well. Could be related to the Hudson's Bay Company. Could it be? There it is. Look at that. ER squib. So this is incredibly significant. This guy, I believe, had a government contract with the Union Army during the Civil War and produced these bottles. They're always in these shades of green. This one looks mint. What do we have here? Looks like an extract bottle. No embossing, has an oval panel, would have had a paper label on the front. Now this I'm curious about. What do we have? Wow. It's a transferware piece, English transferware. It's got some kind of scene, looks like horses on it of some sort, and you can see it was damaged. That's likely why it was discarded way back when. I think we've got some more stuff in here though. All right, another pottery beer. Wow, I was stoked to just find one, and now I have more than I know what to do with. Kennedy Barrowfield Potteries, Glasgow. I mentioned earlier that was a very significant, very large-scale pottery works. I found ginger pop bottles made by this company out in Eastport, Maine. We have our first intact American beer bottle. So far, so good. Huh. That's kind of wild. I've never seen one of these before. If anyone knows what this is, drop a comment, please. Oh yeah, it's an early one. All right, it's intact. Oh, it's got that sharp collar. And A&DHC, that's the Chambers Glass Company, I believe out of Pittsburgh. Now, if you look at it, you'll see the top has a kind of sharp collar. They stopped making those like that in the mid-1880s. I'd wager this thing's 1870s, maybe early 1880s. May have found the bottom, but there's still a few pieces. Oh, here we go. United States Army Hospital Department. There it is. So these bottles were made for the Union Army during the Civil War. It's faintly embossed. When the war ended, the surplus was sent out to frontier forts. Amazing. Oh, this thing's something. It's got some contents in it yet. Looks like could be paint, could be some kind of polish of some sort. I don't see any embossing on it. Sometimes those USA bottles are very faintly embossed though. I don't think this one is. That's really something. Got a bar glass, really thick pressed glass piece. Looks like some kind of ale bottle. Maybe another one of those English pieces. All right, it's definitely an ale. No crown on this one, but it looks like it's a three-piece mold. That early ale top on it. That thing's really something. I'm still working my way across here, and there's still more. What do we have here? Some kind of little key mold apothecary piece of some sort. I have a couple pieces down here. Let's see. Got a liquor flask. Wow, that's an early one. That's a tooled top. Put that at about 1880. And what do we have here? This is a little aqua bottle. Again, it's got a key mold bottom, an applied top. That thing is really nice. I love how early the stuff is here. Right here, I've got a looks like a Lee and Perrins bottle. Could be one of those early Worcestershire sauces. There we go, and it's got a glass stopper. That is something else. Look at that. It's a Worcestershire. Yeah, Lee and Perrins right there. Nice. Another Worcestershire sauce bottle. It's got an applied top. Yep, another Lee and Perrins Worcestershire sauce. And this thing I've been working at for a bit. That's early. That's an early whiskey. Look at that thing. It's a 3-piece mold, an applied top. Do we have any embossing? Oh yeah, patent. I dug some of these on Fort Pembina. It's a patented style liquor bottle. I always found these in the earliest pits, probably 1870s. Some kind of a champagne bottle. Looks like an applied top. It has the foil band around the neck. And some kind of ale bottle here. Looks like a 3-piece mold. English ale. No other embossing. Nice black glass. Working my way across the north side of the pit here. May have an intact plate. Looks like an ink bottle as well. What do we got here? Look at that. Wow, that's an umbrella ink. That's a classic piece there. This thing's 1860s, 1870s. Wow. Ironstone china plate. J&G Meakin. It's got that early black colored stenciling on the back. Looks like we have another ale bottle, but it's wedged in there. Look at that design. Look at that. It was broken, so they discarded it. That's early transferware there. I'm going to try to find all the pieces. And another ginger beer bottle. That's awesome. Must be another from Barrowfield Potteries, Glasgow. Finishing out the north side of the pit here, and looks like we might have another medicine, maybe another pottery beer. Looks like it might be intact. So far, so good. All right, that's a wide top example. No stamping on this one. I love these things. Let's see here, a few broken pieces. Oh, another Worcestershire sauce. Yeah, another Lee and Perrins. An applied top. English made, maybe early American made for this company. No idea what this thing is. It almost looks hand forged. Could have been a lantern holder. No idea. If you have any clue, drop a comment. This pit's done. Here's the hall. This was something else. Everything dated from the 1860s to 1880s. Got an amazing variety of pieces here. Has some tincture medicine bottles, Worcestershire sauce, food bottles, some bigger food bottles, and a mason jar. A bunch of beers, English ales. Only a few liquor bottles, some wines, champagne. We did get a few brunettes, extracts, some transferware pieces, that ER Squib and USA Hospital Department bottle, some medicines. This was something else. Well, I'll get this thing filled back in.